Owarumae ni, before we end. As we come to the end of Japanese 1, we are still not messing around with your education. Before you break for the summer, it's very important that you learn katakana. You will need this as you begin Japanese 2. This lesson has 2 videos, and you're watching the first one. Remember to pause the video or even replay portions of it to help you understand. After this lesson, you will be able to read and write 5 katakana characters, correctly read and write long vowel sounds when using katakana, know and explain when to use katakana, and correctly read and write Canada in Japanese. Are you ready? Hajimemashou. In the past year, you've learned how to read and write hiragana, and just a teeny tiny bit of kanji. Now we'll learn the other phonetic system of Japanese, katakana. You've seen it before, but we've always included furigana above or near the characters so you could read them. Furigana for katakana is going bye-bye. Looking at the picture, can you determine which words are katakana? Think back to the words you learned that were written in katakana. Can you think why? Review some of those words in your mind while you review the criteria for the use of katakana. The most common use of katakana are words that are borrowed from other languages. For example, foods, transportation, or clothing. Of course, foreign countries and names are also written in katakana. Katakana is also used for onomatopoetic expressions, sound effect words. In English, they would be like bam or boom. Katakana is also used for animal noises, baby talk, nicknames, some company names, so on and so forth. And finally, katakana is used to call attention to certain words. It's kind of like bolding or italicizing text in English. As you have learned hiragana, the katakana table shouldn't look too frightening. You should notice that the katakana characters have straighter lines and sharper angles than hiragana. Can you see some characters that look similar to hiragana? How about he, ka, ki, and ri? Can you see others? Unlike hiragana, that was created using a form of cursive kanji, katakana was created by using part of a kanji with similar pronunciations. In some cases, the whole kanji was used. Here are some characters that look like kanji. Ni, and the kanji ni, the number 2. Ha and hachi, the number 8, also look a lot alike. Notice that mi and san, the number 3, look a lot alike. Why does mi use the kanji san? Remember, when counting objects, the word for 3 is mitsu. How about ho and the kanji hon for book? These are all some examples of katakana that look very similar to kanji. It's also very important to note that many of the katakana look alike. For example, shi and tsu look a lot alike. Also, so, n, and ri can look a lot alike if they're not drawn carefully. Can you see other katakana characters that could be easily confused, especially if they're not written neatly? You'll find it's very important that stroke order, direction, and length be correct when writing katakana. Can you find the characters from the word katakana on the table? I've already shown you ka. If you move a little bit to the left, you'll find ta, and right next to ta is na. Just like the hiragana, the ka, sa, ta, and hagyo can all be modified using dakuten, and the hagyo can be modified by the handakuten. When modified, these pronunciation changes create 5 more gyo. The 5 new gyo just like the hiragana tables. And notice that there are still 3 characters, ji, ji, and zu, that have slightly different pronunciations than the other characters in the gyo. Although chi and su can make ji and zu sounds using dakuten, we almost always use shi and su when writing borrowed words. Since we're learning ka and ta, we might as well learn ga and da this lesson too. Later, we'll learn about another character that can be modified by the dakuten for use with foreign words, but these sounds will be in a separate table. Of course, we have long vowel sounds in the Japanese language. Hiragana has 2 main methods. The first is to repeat the vowel sound, like iie, one-san, and oki. The second one deals with the long O sound. Remember that most long O sounds are actually made with u, as in arigato and ohayo. Katakana usually uses the choompu to make long vowel sounds. Here are some examples. Kohi, teipu, sportsu, and guitar. Listening to these words, can you guess which words belong to which pictures? Pause the video really quick so you have time to sound out the words. Welcome back. Let's see how well you did. Kohi sounds a lot like coffee. Teipu sounds a lot like tape. Sportsu sounds a lot like sports. And of course, guitar sounds just like guitar. Notice that vertical writing uses a vertical choompu. There are other sounds that we want to be aware of in Japanese. The sokuon creates a double consonant, like in gakko or gambatte. Remember that double consonant is a glottal stop. It merely puts a pause in the middle of the word. We'll cover this next lesson, but some katakana words that use the sokuon are sakka, bacon eggu, and basketball. Of course, the ya, you, and yo characters and the e row can create contractions. We'll cover this in lesson 6, but to give you some examples, we have sharp pen, computer, juice, and chocoretto. Notice how these contractions are made exactly the same way as with hiragana. Now, when borrowing words from foreign countries, it was discovered that many sounds don't exist in the Japanese language. So new combinations have been created with a, I, u, e, o, and even u. With these new combinations, we're able to eat jelly muffins. Oh, and we can eat that with a fork. And of course, Jane and Van can sing a duet. New combinations are still being created as the Japanese adopt new sounds. We will cover all of these new sounds in lesson 7. At this point in time, you are going to have an opportunity to answer a few questions concerning this video.